Breakfast with Jacques and G, and welcome to something that has been literal weeks in the making. A man who is known for keeping chiropractors employed and helping dentists afford their second holiday home with the damage that he does to others. Please welcome to breakfast a man who goes by many names: Stillknocks, DDP, Jammer meneer, ek sal nie weer nie, but you know him best as Dricus to Plessis.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. It's so awesome to be on the show finally.
Dricus, man, welcome to the show. Yeah, we were supposed to talk earlier, but the one person who you do not ignore came knocking at your door and literally messed the whole thing up. And it's not parents, it's not fiancés, it's not managers. The anti-doping agency showed up at your house.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when they call, they don't have times, they don't have schedules, they don't care about yours. They make sure we play fair, and as much as it's sometimes very irritating and very intrusive, you know, it's necessary to keep the sport fair. It's necessary to keep everybody in check, and I appreciate the work they do.
Obviously, as someone who's busted their backside for the sport as much as you have and been tested more times than you care to mention, you're going to be clean. But even so, do you still get nervous when you get tested? Like when you're at the airport, you know, you packed your own bag, you do have nothing to declare, but when they ask you, your pupil still does that thing.
In the beginning, it was because you don't know. You know, in the beginning, you don't know what it's like. But I mean, 2 years ago, as the most tested athlete in the world, I was tested 26 times in a year, which, if you do the math on that, that's every other week. So, like you said in the beginning, I also thought, what if you eat something you shouldn't? At the end of the day, it really comes down to the athlete when it comes to testing. If you get caught with something, then you did something wrong. And I understand the loopholes that has been there with something you ate, and people get smart all the time. But if you know you've done whatever, I've never really been nervous because I know I've never cheated, and if so, any investigation, I would be willing to do the hair test where they can test if you've ever cheated in your life. So I got that jacket for 50 clean tests over 2 years. I mean, I don't know what the second gift is, but I'll probably have that one soon.
It's probably going to be some sort of participation medal.
Yes.
So when the anti-doping agency isn't knocking at your door, I can imagine being at home. This is now relaxation time, feet up in the air kind of thing, especially after something as intense as the training that leads up to the fights, as well as the fight itself. So what realistically is the first thing you want to do once you're back home after a fight? Maybe a birki, maybe a braai, or what do you get up to?
Man, when you talk about the birki, I mean that happens before I do anything. When I get out of that octagon, for 2 months you don't touch a beer. So the first thing I always say that, and the UFC staff, they know me by now. My team knows it. I don't do a single interview. I don't even see the doctor before I've had my first beer. I go, when you get back, win, lose, draw, doesn't really matter. When you get back, in the times that you prepare for a fight, in those weeks and months leading up, everybody has to kind of take a back seat: your family, your friends, your dogs, your everything, your whole life, because there's only one goal ahead and everybody works towards it. So when I get back with jet lag, anything, I want to sleep. I want to just relax, and more importantly, spend the time with the people that I've neglected during that camp, because they are the people that are there when you lose, when you win. It doesn't matter. So having a beer, having a braai with the family.
But even though you're away from them the whole time, I mean, in this far international country, there's still a lot of support for you. And the one thing I've always liked is when you look into the crowds, you can always see the South Africans. So what's it like when you maybe hear like some Afrikaans in the crowd, you hear someone in your native tongue going "Bliksem Dricus," or seeing something like the South African flag in the crowd? I mean, that's got to be something that makes you know South Africa has your back.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. You go to a foreign country. I mean, I've never fought at home, so it's always been a foreign country. But there has not been a single fight except for the first one with COVID, where I've went no matter where in the world, Australia, America. There's always a South African that finds their way to the arena. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. I mean, we love sports, we love our sportsmen, and for us, for me, seeing that flag, even though the whole crowd boos, I don't listen to that. I just hear the South African cheers.
Lacquer, man, yeah, it's important to focus on the right things. Let's go to the pre-fight. It's always non-stop trash talk between the fighters. Sometimes there's physical altercations, guys wanting to already at the weigh-in get into it. But very often post-fight is a different story. Win, lose. I feel it takes a lot, for anyone to want to step into the octagon and fight and bleed with someone else. So, as such, how much does respect play a role in MMA?
You can see that with different people, it has different effects. For me, when I get in there, I want to kill you. It doesn't matter if I like you, it doesn't matter if I hate you, and it's never personal. It's never personal. It's my job. I'm there to win. I'm there to get a full pay. I mean, you can literally look at it from it's either my family or your family that's eating. And that's the way I see it. And we are both there for the same thing. But as soon as the fight starts, all of that to me is gone. I'm still in there to kill you. If the fight's over, I know what it takes to get into that octagon. It takes a lot of balls. It takes just to be able to fight in the UFC. You have your whole life has to be dedicated to this sport for many years to get that opportunity. And if you look at a UFC title fight to get there, the sacrifice you had to make, everything, it takes a lot. So after a fight, I have no hard feelings. Win, lose, or draw, it's only respect. There's no need to have any disrespect because any man that's willing to step in there with me has my respect.
Dricus, keeping with pre-fight, aside from the obvious preparation, the training, let's go 10, 15 minutes before the fight. Any pre-fight rituals, superstitions, or is there maybe something you feel that you just need to do?
The one thing you start doing that close to a fight is pray. Believe me, you pray like you've never prayed before because it's a scary place to be.
What's a better feeling for you, win by knockout or win by submission?
A win overall. I don't really care how it comes, to be honest. For me, losing via submission is worse than a knockout. I've never tapped in my life. And the real thing about a submission is you are literally tapping and asking for mercy. And for me, that is the worst.
Dricus, when you're done fighting, win or lose, who's the first person you want to talk to or call?
My dad, 100%. He's always been there, but since most of the fights overseas, he can't always make it. But he's the first person I call.
How does your fiance feel about what you do? Because, I mean, you're obviously very good at it, but still, no one wants to see the love of their life spill any blood.
Yeah, I think especially if you meet her, then you would understand how hard it must be. She's the most loving and soft person in the world, and now she's in this life where violence and people always think about it like, is your life violent? I remember in the beginning of our relationship, so many people asked her, "Is it okay? He doesn't do anything physical to you?" Or
Oh, man.
people just have that misconception. But for me, that is my job. It's not my life, and for her, it's very, very hard to go out there. She gets so nervous, but we've met each other when I was doing this for a living, and she understands that for me, that is my purpose in life, and she supports me 100% in that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, just because it isn't her lifestyle doesn't mean that she can't show you love and support. Dricus, because of who you are and what it is you do, I have to ask, are there people out there in the general public that will on purpose look for trouble and, taunt you into a fight? Like, hey, Dricus, come to me, I'll show you what happens.
It does happen, but I have to say, people are mostly respectful until the brandy start flowing. Understand? You know how it is, the karate water gets in there. But I mean, that gets sorted out. My team and the people that are with me, they know. But also, at the end of the day, you have to understand I'm a fighter by heart and by nature. If there's any situation where you put me or somebody I love in danger, I won't think twice.
Yeah, it's probably not going to end well.
It's not going to end well, no.
A sport like MMA, it's very physical, but there's a lot of emotion in it. We've seen it with other fighters, but Dricus, has a fight ever brought you close to tears? Be it rage, pain, frustration, sacrifice?
To tears, absolutely. The thought of winning your first world title, knowing the sacrifices, 100%. But before a fight, the intensity of it, yes. When you're on your own, before you go out, for sure. But once I get in there, there is no emotion. It's only business. And that's what gives me the advantage. I've been able to get my opponents to react emotionally. And that's a death sentence in our game. If you get emotional, you're in big shit. And unfortunately, and that's why for me, there's nothing anybody can say that can get me emotional. There's nothing that can happen for me when I get in there. I am emotionless. I am a emotionless being. I just go out there to do what I need to.
Dricus, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about what went down at the World Cup final. Breakfast with Jacques and G on Namibia's number one, and we are talking to Dricus Stillknocks du Plessis, specifically. Let's talk rugby, kind of. And it's always great seeing you when you do what you do, but one of my favorite moments with you is actually outside of the octagon. It was when I was watching the Bokke beat New Zealand in the World Cup final, and at one point, I think it was obviously after the final whistle, actor Jason Momoa, who was unfortunately sporting New Zealand, he came over to you and showed you some love when the Bokke won. Do you get to meet a lot of these Hollywood-type celebs? And if so, do you have these fanboy moments?
Yeah, no, I do have the opportunity, and I mean that's a very big privilege to meet all these people. I mean, you would never think about it, but fanboy, yes, I do. I mean, I've met Theo Vaughn. He's at most of the UFC events. I met Donald Trump, which was absolutely incredible. Shook his hand. He came to talk to me. It was incredible. When it comes to actors, not necessarily, but there is some cool actors that I've met that I've been very privileged to meet. And then the other day, I shot a ad for Betway with in Spain with F1 driver Carlos Sainz, and that was the first time in a very long time that I fanboyed about over someone.
Who would you say is the most famous person's number you have in your phone?
The most famous person's number, bro, it should probably be Dana White, I guess.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Dana White, president and CEO of the UFC, for those that don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dana White is a pretty famous guy.
Dricus, in the octagon, you're a beast, but let's play a game testing your MMA and MMA-related knowledge and a little thing we like to call weet jy of weet jy nie wat ons weet nie.
All right.
Who is the only MMA fighter with no losses, no draws, only wins?
Habib.
Correct. What MMA-based movie starred Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton?
Warrior.
Yes. Before he was famous for being an MMA commentator, Fear Factor host, the podcast icon Joe Rogan started his career out as what?
He was a comedian, but taekwondo was his first sport, but he wasn't famous for that. So I would say comedian.
Yep, moving on. Name one of the fighting skills that go into MMA.
Wrestling.
4 for 4. And finally, which MMA fighter's hydration drink, Knox Hydrate, kept myself and G going during all the early mornings while we were filming our Dricus on Wave campaign?
The one and only Dricus Stillknocks to Plessis. That has to be.
Yeah, Dricus, you were fine with the other ones. If you got that one wrong, I don't know how we'd move on from that. Let's talk a bit about Knox. There's a vision behind Knox Hydration, offering a better, healthier option for young people to hydrate, stay focused, recover, and thrive, all without caffeine. But it transcends the drink itself because Knox Hydrate, you're actively getting involved with young people through the Knox Hydrate Founders Legacy Fund, through youth and community programs. How do you begin something like this?
Yeah, I mean, when we started this whole thing, the big thing was I've always thought, you get people that sponsor sports athletes, you get people, and that's great because as a professional athlete, that's what you need. That's important. But for me, on a grassroots level, as a athlete, as a fighter, as a person that's been involved with martial arts in general since I was 5 years old, I was in a privileged position where I could go to these classes and my parents could take me there after school and make sure. But most people don't have that. And what the one thing when we started this for me was let's get something where we help people, not in MMA because it's what I do, but some people are passionate about different foundations. And that was the one thing, that was the one promise me and my partner made was we want this thing. I want to give back to people and potential world champions of the future. That doesn't mean you have to win. It doesn't mean, but what it is about showing people what is possible and then making a small contribution. We try to make it as big as we can, but getting that contribution to getting those people to where they need to be. And, every little helps to say what you are doing is being seen. And don't stop because the hardships financially make it so hard for people to follow their dreams. And for me, I truly believe that here in South Africa and close to us, close to home, the next world champion lurks. And, if we can play a role in that, that is amazing.
That's really awesome, Dricus. And I think it's worth letting the fans know that, yes, when they buy Knox Hydrate, you're getting this great beverage. But every time they also do, they are supporting the amazing things that Knox does. And speaking of amazing things, you are coming to Namibia. Myself and my co-host, G, we took a chance and we started this Dricus on Wave campaign to try and get you in studio. And the one thing I can tell you is the amount of love that Namibians have shown you during the whole campaign is insane. We would get calls, WhatsApps, emails. People out in public would ask us about you. Even walking into work this morning, super early, the karate dojo next to us, they were also arriving and they were like, is he here? Is he coming? What's happening? So it's safe to say there's a lot of love for you in Namibia, and you're going to be giving the love back because fans can catch you at Henny's tomorrow right here in Windhoek. So let me ask you this. What clubs harder, an MMA fighter or a Lakakaya at Henny's?
Yes, it depends. If you win the fight, it's going to be hard to compete. But on a tough fight, my man, after the fight, that is going to be so lucky. I think it's going to be awesome. The people from Namibia has been showing me love. I haven't had the opportunity to go there. We've been planning it for so long, but with the scheduling, everything, and me and Dricus, the beer from Ennis, we finally got a date, and I'm super excited. I wish I could have stayed longer, actually, and I guess that's also why I couldn't be in studio. My dad's birthday is on the Sunday, And that's why, and obviously, I'm training. So we're flying after training on Friday. We're getting there. We're there for the event on Saturday, and I'm flying back Sunday morning very early to be home with my dad.
How did you and Henny's hook up? As you mentioned, you and Radio Rabs, aka Dricus from Henny's, your friends. He's been at your fights before. He was at your last fight overseas. So did he just say, hey, kom ons gooi road trip to Nam? How did this happen?
Myself and Dricus, we've known each other for maybe, I want to say 11, 12 years. When he just came on the scene, I just started, getting a name here in South Africa. I was 20 years old when he started. Interviewed me when I was 20 years old, and then he invited me to the movie premiere, to one of his shows just before he had his first show. So we've known each other for a very, very long time. We are very, very good friends, and that's how we've just been friends. Even way before he started the Hennies, when he just started his first shows, we became friends, and here we are now. So I mean, he's been in my corner. He goes to all my fights. We are very, very good friends.
So it's almost like he's in your corner for a change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you look at the success he's had, he is such an inspirational person and a great guy. I don't think anybody that's ever met him can say otherwise.
Dricus, one of the rules at Henny's that it feels like we've all fallen prey to it is you have to drink with your left hand. Not allowed to drink with the right hand. If you, Dricus, Stillknocks du Plessis, larger than life, MMA legend, drink with the right hand, do the waiters still come to you and tell you, hey, you have to down your drink?
Every single time, and it's so frustrating because one of those places, but I've learned my lesson. I keep my phone in my one hand or something in the hand, because I've been there on a Monday a couple of years ago. We were shooting an ad, and me and Ricky and I said, cool, let's shoot the ad. And he wanted a beer for the ad. And I said, cool, I'm not really going to. I said, cool, I'll take the sip for the ad. But I have to be somewhere tomorrow early. And me and him both, we said, no, like we're not going to have beers. We're just going to. And I think we started at 1 o'clock, and I did the ad, and there was some of the other owners, and we were just there. And we said, okay, cool, let's have one beer and we'll leave. And with that one beer, I took my first sip with the right hand. I downed that beer, and then the second one came, and it was maybe 3, 4 sips in. They got me again.
Yeah, it's never just one, is it?
So downing 2 draft, and let's just say it was a very tough next day at the end of the day.
Yeah, the next time I go to work, Babalas, I'm going to use that as an excuse. I was shooting adverts with Dricus. Dricus, tomorrow, Hennies, I want to find out anything special planned, or are you just going to come show some love to the Namibian fans?
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming there. It feels like Namibia has been showing me so much love. I've met so many fans from Namibia. I have never yet to have a bad experience with anybody from there. And it's so cool because they've been showing me love for so many years. It's so cool to come and finally meet so many people. Meeting everybody that's going to be there is going to be cool. It's going to be great.
I hope this doesn't sound silly, but take it from a fan's perspective. I see who you are. I see what it is you do. So when you go to events like this, do you have security with you? Because I'm sure you'll understand when I ask, why would you?
Yeah, I hear you. We don't have security at all. We have people managing other people. Sometimes people get very excited, and also, when it comes to boundaries and stuff. But security, no. When we travel, it depends to where we go, what the event is. But at Henny's, I don't think security has ever been necessary.
Dricus, you have wedding bells ringing on the horizon, but aside from that, what does the future hold? What keeps you busy when you're not out there training and fighting?
Yeah, outside of fighting, I've been doing quite a bit of racing on the track. I have a couple of race cars, different types of racing, oval racing on the long track here at Swartkrops. Also rally racing, WRC2. So I mean that is the hobbies that keeps me busy. I like the adrenaline, and it keeps you focused, disciplined, and yeah, I mean look out for that. I mean I've been doing pretty well, won a few races, and that's outside of fighting what the hobbies look like. I'm not a very big golf guy, so I had to find something a bit more fitting.
Yeah, racing makes more sense. Like, it's more on par, pun intended, with MMA, because, the adrenaline, let's be honest, no offense, golfers, but it's not exactly the type of sport where people are getting pumped up like they would with MMA or racing.
You said it best. And I completely suck at it, I have to say that.
Do you suck at golf in general, or what about, like, putt-putt, if you had to go out and play a game of putt-putt?
Putt-putt I'm really not really bad at, but it doesn't really help me on the golf course. I can tell you that. I have to get the ball on the green first.
Dricus, before we call it on the interview, I want to find out from you. Give us some wisdom based upon what it is you do best. Hypothetically, someone out there is about to get murdered. What advice, immediate advice, can you give them to help them survive the fight.
Hit first, hit hard, and make sure it's on point. As easy as that.
Dricus, a massive thank you to you for having a little talk with us this morning. We know you got a busy 24 hours lying ahead. You got planes, you got to catch. You're going to be at Henny's tomorrow where fans can come show some love. We just want to say thank you and have a safe trip. Have a lacquer one. See you tomorrow.
I appreciate the love, guys, and thank you for reaching out. See you guys soon.